Hey, so this is New Year's Eve 2018, which means it's December 31st, 2018. Yep. And so we are celebrating with Disney's Twice Upon a Sale.
Something like that.
I think so. It happens in May and in December. And so we are going to go to all 5 local locations of the Disney stores in Georgia.
Yes.
More specifically, I guess the Atlanta area.
Yes.
So the first one we are heading to is Kennesaw. I guess it'll go here. Oh, it's the town center of Cobb in Kennesaw.
I don't know if I've ever been there.
I don't think so either. So this is going to be a fun adventure.
Yay!
Yay!
See you there.
Bye. Hey, so we are at the Town Center Mall in Kennesaw.
Beautiful.
You can see it. Ah, my head thing.
Uh-oh.
And thank you. And so we are gonna go in. I think it's supposed to be right in the main
Yeah,
whatever.
I think we did a good job finding it.
Yeah. So we're gonna go. We're not gonna record in there. We could maybe take a sneak picture or two, but we're not gonna try to. We don't want to get in trouble. So
Unless it's closed, and then we'll take a picture of it.
yeah. Yes, because I looked it up recently. So anyway, so we'll be back with our review. We have returned! So first we immediately had to use the restroom.
Yeah.
And the restroom that is where you would think would be the closest, which is near JCPenney, was converted into a family-only restroom, so we did not feel comfortable going in there.
I would have, but it was right next to a dentist, so I was like, there might actually be
weird.
people bringing their children in there. And
Yeah.
I ain't about that life.
No. But we did find the bathroom with the food court. And then we proceeded, which is actually not that far from the Disney store.
Yeah, we went in the right entrance, I would say, the closest we could have. But it was upstairs.
Yes.
So we had to go
That's
up
true.
that.
It was
you already say
upstairs.
that? Up
No, I did not say that. So we almost got lost because we thought it was on the first floor near the Macy's or whatever.
Scared a lady at the...
We did scare her.
Directions.
We didn't mean to, but she didn't see us there. So then we went in. First initial thoughts, it's a little bit smaller than some of the ones I've been in.
Yeah, the front display, like we've been to some that have since closed, but maybe that's the sign, where the front was like a lot of molded things and a display. This one just had like a giant, like Mickey
head.
Oh, it was just his head?
Yeah, it was just his head. I mean, it was painted.
But I mean, it was like 10 feet tall. It was like a 2D.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, it was just like a drawing.
Yeah. And then there was nothing in the front display window.
No.
Like no mannequins or anything.
Yeah.
It's okay. I mean, the store is right.
Yeah, it had a mini castle towards the back where you could like walk under, which is kind of cute. So the stuff that they had, they had a decent supply. They had a lot of new stuff, so like Wreck-It Ralph and everything. As a fan of Tangled, they didn't actually have a lot. They had the kid, the artistic baby dolls or something, but they didn't have a whole like setup for that.
Right.
I did like to see, as far as Wreck-It Ralph, they did have like the princess shirts, but they were missing, of course, the 2 that we were looking for. So
Yeah, they did have Tiana.
yeah, that's true.
She's
That's
also
true.
one of my favorites, but not in my size.
So overall size, I would say like 3.5. Like it was out of 5. It's a scale. I'm sorry, 1 through 5. So it was about average. I wouldn't say it was tiny. It definitely was a bigger store than like a lot of like GameStops or Hot Topics.
Yeah, and it was like, I was trying to think of a store to compare it to.
Yeah.
But it was a decent size. Not huge, obviously, like she said, but enough to have like 3 basically aisles wide. But they didn't have actual aisles, but
correct. Right. Yeah. He's a lift guy. Parking it's a mall, so you got space. Especially we are here on New Year's Eve, which is a Monday, so people are at work still sometimes. So
and if you come to the town center, if you were looking to go there, we parked between Sears and Macy's, and whatever entrance this is by the like Build-A-Bear and a barbershop.
Yeah.
Auntie Anne's Pretzels. I don't know what side we're on. I don't think I've never been
here. Yeah. Ooh, I keep nodding my
ample
head too
parking
much.
because, like she said, it's a mall.
Yeah. So. Yes, that's good. Ease of finding it from the outside, 0.
Yeah,
you cannot see it from the outside. The map or whatever that you can Google didn't have the second floor on there that I saw. Just brief looking at it.
We did a search and then it showed us, but it didn't. I don't even think it told us on there that it was upstairs.
Yeah,
we
no,
found
it
that
didn't.
on the kiosk inside.
Yeah. So selection of the series we kind of went over. They didn't have some of the, it was all of the new stuff, which is important, I guess. Adult-friendly accessories, they did have quite a few shirts and stuff that looked larger sizes. And then, of course, toys, I mean, you can whatever, but we were thinking more.
Mugs, but yeah, I didn't see, like...
jewelry really too much.
Right, or neckties or hats of any sort.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, so.
Sorry, it's hard to hold this and get us in there. Okay, yes. So the cast members or the staff, we met two. Mm-hmm. Both were very friendly. Came over and said, "Hey, do you need help?"
We were greeted within the first, minute, maybe 2 minutes, by someone who offered if we needed any help finding anything. Told us about the sale. Mm-hmm. She was very friendly, but not pressuring.
Yes.
I didn't feel too judged. Sometimes as an adult going into a store that's supposedly for children without a child.
Yeah.
And then dressed.
Hey, man. We were not wearing the hats.
No, she was very friendly.
Yes.
And then the second lady, she just asked if we needed any help.
Yeah, because we were just browsing a little bit. So that was over in the back. So yes, they definitely had their quadrants. Mm-hmm.
And everybody in the store looked friendly. Like nobody behind the counter was sulking or
No, yeah, everyone was very friendly and happy. And then as far as the mall is somewhat small actually, considering I guess where we are.
Right, but most of the malls we go to are half dead. When I think of
That's
Sugarloaf Mills or the one over close to our house. So this one is lively.
Yeah.
It still had the food court was pretty full. We only went to the part that was upstairs.
Yeah.
It has some new stores like the Think Geek store. What's that? Goth store.
Hot Topic.
That's still there.
Yeah.
Build-A-Bear. Some of the other stores you think of.
Yes,
It's still got a Sears. It's still got a JCPenney. I didn't see any going out of business on it. So as far as malls go, it does have other stores, and it's not like this is the last store that's in here.
And I guess that is a good point. We didn't actually walk all the way down, so I do retract that. I guess it's like a 4 out of a 5. It's not a huge store or small, but it is a really decently sized.
Right. It's still
clean.
active. It's clean.
It's a labyrinth to get to the women's bathroom, but whatever.
Oh my gosh! I went to any bathroom. Like you go down the hall, there's some sinks for some reason.
Yeah.
And it's like bathrooms this way, and then there's the family bathroom, and then there's a sign that tells you how to get back to the food court because you're lost down this.
Yeah, it was like winding. Yeah.
Like where maintenance people would go, like this big warehouse thing, and then you turn around, and then there's just a hallway with the bathrooms are both on the wall. Yeah, like I walked out of the, if you stood at the right angle, you could see where the women's toilets were.
Yeah.
And then the men's were next. I didn't try that side.
No, but it was weird.
It was very strange.
So, yeah.
But we weren't the only ones who were lost.
No.
Everybody was standing in the hallway, and then as we were leaving, this girl and her mom were coming in. The girl's like,
yes. I would definitely have gotten lost if you weren't there with me. So.
That was not bad.
All right. Yes, a success for the first time.
Yeah, I did want to mention that they did have the speakers going and songs, and then it was it sounded like the trailer for the Infinity Wars Part 2, whatever that's called. There were no televisions though. I know I've been in them where there was some at least one set of TVs so you could see.
Yeah, there's even usually a little seating area so that some of the smaller kids can watch TV.
So I guess it's because the store was smaller. Yeah. I was a little surprised there wasn't at least one monitor.
Yeah.
Because until he said Thanos, I was like, "What show is this for?"
It was weird.
Star Wars? Or I couldn't tell. I guess I wasn't listening either, but
yeah.
So that was just I wanted to note.
Yeah. All right. So overall, good experience.
Yeah, I would give it a 4. It's still well stocked. It was bright and clean. It was well staffed too. Yes. Even though I guess some people are still shopping for holidays or something. Yeah. Or the sale is on, but so yeah, I would give it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I agree. Ow. Hey, are you okay? So we are at the Perimeter Mall. And definitely already right off the bat is much less friendly.
It's way more crowded. I guess it's a more popular mall. It's probably closer to more things in a bigger part of the city.
That's true, yeah. So yeah, it's just more stressful to kind of get around.
Yeah, like the other place we had no problem. I parked on accident, really. Yeah. And then here, I wanted to murder about 7 people.
Yes, we almost did.
And they tried to have themselves murdered by walking in front of my car, but That's okay.
It's also right like dead in the center on the upper level between the Disney store, between Macy's and Dillard's. So we are parked by Dillard's, so we are gonna walk right in. So right off the bat, 0 as far as ease of finding it on from the outside because it is completely on the inside. So we are gonna go ahead and head in.
All right, watch what happens. So,
yeah.
We made it back.
Yeah, we survived. So going there was very stressful. There was it was crowded, and I think that's mostly why it was stressful.
Yeah.
And it was kind of smack dab in the middle of the mall. It actually was downstairs, which we were prepared for it to be upstairs, so it was weird.
Which also feels weird because the way that our parking, we don't look like we're on a parking deck. We look like we're on ground level. So that was...
Yeah, so we entered on second level, so we had to go down.
That's Atlanta. Everything's built in a hill.
Yeah. The bathroom was very accessible through Dillard's, so we went out of Dillard's. It was I like the way it was decorated, like the walls and stuff. It was super narrow, so the people waiting online, like you couldn't get out of the restroom in time.
There's no place to wait with your baby.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it was there's a place outside for that, but they didn't utilize it that way. So no, so that we kind of put me personally in a more stressful. I have that social anxiety, unfortunately, so I kind of was on that mood of I'm not gonna like it here. But I was actually, so the outside of it looked a lot more classy, so it was just had like a wooden exterior.
I almost walked by it. If you hadn't gone in, I didn't realize it was a Disney store because there was no like big Mickey or any other decoration, just a Disney.
Yeah, different from anything else.
Yeah.
We didn't mention this before, so the Kennesaw one had like a white roof. They didn't do anything for the top.
Yeah.
This one they painted it like black or very dark blue, so it was very dark feeling in there. But it was really cool because the floor was like a midnight blue with sparkles in it.
Like there was like a path.
Yeah, it was a path between that and like some wood. Yeah, so it was really cool like that. And once you kind of got into that atmosphere, it was really cool.
Once your eyes adjusted, it was a little bit less harsh, I guess.
Yeah. So
it's like the other one felt like a store, whereas this one, I think they were going for like a forest feeling or something.
Yeah, it was more of an experience. So this one had a castle as well. It was a little bit different setup, and it actually had some vanity like mirrors.
Yeah.
So the other one was blue. I think it was Cinderella. And this one, it was funny. It was pink, so it kind of looked like maybe Aurora, but it had the vibe of Belle. So we're not sure whose thing it was.
Castle. Yeah. Maybe they share it.
Yeah. The stuff that they had was a lot more practical. There was a lot more stuff for adults or whatever. There was like a Minnie Mouse Club where it had like just random like desk accessories and stuff like that. More coughing stuff. Yeah, you want to talk about that?
They had cooking stuff, like measuring cups and
which was interesting.
Other little like spatulas and stuff. So obviously kitchen. It wasn't play kitchen.
Yeah,
but
they also had Friends or something like that. The other one had a little bit of those toys, but it's this like play set thing of like these little cute little like Lady and the Tramp and stuff, but tiny.
Chibified or minimalistic kind of.
Yeah. They also had Marvel and Star Wars, a big section for Marvel. Did you notice that? I don't think that the other store had that.
No, like we saw a little tiny plush Groot and maybe some other stuff, but not as much as this one.
Yeah, this one was definitely carved out for it. And then, of course, the TV.
Oh, yeah, I remember Disney Store's been around for a long time, but they had that sequestered, like, dark area where they played movies or clips from things. So, like, when we were in there, it was from Princess and the Frog. I don't remember what song it was. I think it might have been the one when they go out to dinner or something like that. But, they had that little section where the kids can sit and watch on the big projected screen. So that was nice to see back.
Yeah.
The other one didn't have that.
Yeah, the other one, yeah.
This one felt like it was the same size of a store spot, maybe just a little bigger, but they used everything was closer together.
Yeah.
Not cramped. You could still get around, but like more decorations. Maybe it's older too. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah. And they also had more of a section, I feel, where the girls, or I say girls because there was all dresses, so of course anyone could dress up as long as you could fit in their tiny little dresses. But
like the one little girl was.
Yeah, she was super cute. So
just doing a twirl.
Yes. So just looking through the list, making sure that we said everything. Yes, we covered size, we covered parking. When we got here,
parking was hard. I mean, it is a mall, but. Anybody who says malls are dead is not coming to this mall.
Yeah,
it is packed. It looks like it's before Christmas, honestly.
Yeah, it definitely looked like that. A lot of people frantically shopping. Ease of finding it, again, from the outside, not at all. And then from the inside, it it was what's it called? Mistakenly, like, you know, it was actually, it kind of blended in with the feel of the mall. The mall's a little, you know.
The kiosk, you know, we were lucky that we did go in the right place, so it was just below us. But yeah, there's nothing to grab your attention from upstairs. Yeah. You know, but it was okay. Yeah.
It had a different selection of the series, different plush toys that I saw a little bit.
Yeah, it had a tiny plush of Little Brother. Oh, we didn't get there yet. Yeah, I felt like there was more variety. There's a lot more Nightmare Before Christmas things.
Yeah, that's true.
It had several different sales sections. The other place had some sales sections, but it felt like the same stuff in each section. Yeah. This one, I kind of want to buy one maybe, but it had like the snuggly Stitch, but then they had a smaller Stitch where he had like a big round tummy. Same set, I guess, but he was smaller. So the other store didn't have that guy.
Yeah. It's true. So yeah, we said the selection of series. Yeah, we had already mentioned it was a little bit more adult friendly as far as like the accessories and stuff like that.
I felt like it had more shirts too. I think you said.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they had a lot of the really clever shirts were for kids, but they did have a bigger selection for adults. They had, or like Captain America, like a jacket, like hoodie type of thing. So yeah. And did you were gonna mention this?
Yeah, the staff/cast members. I think it was the same lady a couple times. So she did come over and she saw us looking at the squishy Stitch stuff, and she commented how she thought it was so cute. It was originally made for babies, but then they realized everybody likes stuffed animals. They're super soft. Thank you.
She commented on our shirts.
Oh, she did? That's nice. Then when we were looking, then we saw the Little Brother plush, which you never see from Mulan. Then she came over and she's like, oh yeah, Little Brother, you never see him. I'm like, I know, right? And then she was saying about like all the anniversaries coming up, like Little Mermaid's 30th, Sleeping Beauty's 60th, Princess and the Frog's 10th, and it's Mulan's 20th. Is that what she
was
said?
This year? I guess that's why we had. Yeah.
So that's why she said they try to incorporate different merchandise. They also, she pointed out, we'd seen before the Maleficent Dragon. Yeah. Was that their 60th? That was also their 60th. Anyway, so she gave us some information. Yeah.
Yes, she was very knowledgeable, very friendly. Definitely didn't judge us. I think she knew we were like her, you know. Yeah,
she followed us around a little bit because she realized we were not here with children. Yes. Dressed in Disney stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, so.
But I will also say, because I did see her, because as I was glancing around or whatever, she was very engaged with every, you know, so it wasn't that she was just like following us or something like that. She was very engaged with all of the others. And I think they actually probably had less, because I think they had 2 like cashiers and then her on the floor. Yeah. So she was doing double duty, but she was doing it well.
Yeah, so it was good.
Yeah. And then as far as the mall is a lot more. This one feels a little bit more upscale. It was a lot busier than the other one.
Yeah. I don't know how many malls. I don't know how many stores are in the mall. It does seem like it's still very active. It's very busy. This is evidently where everybody brings their children. Yeah. The other mall felt like, oh yeah, maybe it's a busy Saturday. Whereas this felt like the Wednesday before Christmas and everybody's like out shopping, you know. Yeah. So,
and it's got stores like Dillard's, Nordstrom, you know, so that's that kind of clientele.
And it's at least 3 stories, because when we were in Dillard's on what is evidently the second story, there was a escalator going up again. So at least parts of it are 3 stories. So it must be a much bigger mall. I don't know much about the malls around here.
No. So overall rating. I think I also would say 4, just like the last one. It's just a different experience.
Yeah. And I guess that's where the rating now has to be like, it's a 4 as far as the store goes. Yeah. But if I said, I need to run to the Disney store, I'm not coming to this one. No. I mean, unless somebody said you can only get this certain item, it will hold it for you and it's over at the one over here.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're looking for a specific item, I would definitely call, because it's very clear that they have different merchandise places. So if you're interested in something, I would definitely call and say, hey, do you have this? Because this one probably will, especially like that, if it's more either adult themed or like that Marvel or Star Wars, that kind of thing. But yeah, just browsing, I don't think I'd ever just walk in.
Unless you were like staying around here and you walked over here and took an Uber.
True, yeah.
But getting here was just too much of a...
Yeah, it really was.
So I guess we're on to the next one.
Yeah.
Number 3. Whew.
So that drive wasn't that bad.
No.
So now we are at the North Point Mall in Alpharetta, and already the parking lot is a lot better.
Except that one guy who sniped my spot.
That's true. He did snipe it. But it's a lot. So it's busy. You can tell there are a lot of cars here. But unlike the other one where there was like a lot of food and everything and you just had to go and there was valet, it was crazy. This one's set up much more like parking spot. It's the grid that you drive through.
Yeah.
The directory, we didn't mention that the other two. We looked on the directory on the website first while we were in the car looking for a parking space. This one was the most clear, and because it actually labeled it right underneath the name, and it said level 1 near Macy's. So we did park near Macy's. It also has the American Girl. This is always the entrance I always go to. So, anyway, so.
Probably been here maybe once, but that's cool. I mean, just, I don't know where we are.
Full disclosure, we think we're gonna have a little bit of lunch before we go in there. But yeah, so we'll let you know how it goes.
Hooray!
So,
Whew.
yeah, it was a lot of walking. We forgot where we parked, so woo. But yeah, so we ate lunch.
It was really hard to find the food court.
Yes, insert our Instagram photo
Oh.
that you took. Yummy. Huh? Ate too much. But anyway, we walked it off. So, we got there okay. I think, like, yeah, we had trouble finding the food court.
Right,
But
yeah.
the actual
that's what
Disney
the
store, we found it. It was indeed kind of catty corner. Macy's was here, and then it was... the outside looked like what I remember. It was the Mickey Mouse ears in red.
Plasticky.
Yeah, plastic. Well, actually, no, when you touch it, it's brick, but...
You touched it?
I had to. I walked right next to it. I almost hit my head on it, so I was like, I'm going to touch it. So walking in, the ceiling actually had more structure lighting. So there's like a white part and like a blue. Size-wise, it was about the same. I think like maybe a little smaller.
It might have been the same size as the first one because it felt more like the first one.
It did.
It looked very store.
It did look very store. I noticed there was a lot of empty space because it was display items, so there wasn't actually that much inventory.
Right.
They do have, I think this is the only store that I saw, that like you can buy 2 for $12, whatever, those like decently sized plush. This one had like the back wall had that right near their TV section, which was kind of a small TV. Yeah, so yeah, their TV, it was small. It mostly had like advertisements and some songs and stuff. But it didn't have that sit down feel.
No, I don't think there were any chairs.
There were no chairs. Yeah, so it was just
where
a
the
little
other one was
alcove.
almost like a little room with like pillars to set it off. This didn't have that. It was just the dark back.
Yeah.
Like the toys on either side of the screen.
Yeah. It also felt like it had more of the like collectors or exclusive items more. It had more of like the traditional classic, Disney or like Mickey Mouse, that kind of thing. It did have some of the adult accessories that we were saying, like it had one of those business books.
Portfolio. Yeah, I don't know. It's not a briefcase, but insert word now. But
Yeah.
right, yeah. I think that was in the discount section, but they still had it.
But yeah, they still had it. And another thing of note, their Disney Castle thing that they had was over to the corner, and it looked like it was a makeshift try-on room.
Oh yeah,
because it had a little curtain, so you could probably go in there, but it was probably for trying on dresses, which is good because the other places didn't have that. But you couldn't play with it like the others. The other ones, the kids could actually run through it a little bit.
Yeah, right.
And this one had more of a utilitarian.
Like a dressing room.
Yeah. As far as going through our list of things to talk about, the staff, there was no one walking the floor that I saw. I think there might have been 2 employees or cast members.
Yeah, I only remember seeing the one. It sounded like she had a pretty friendly conversation or interaction with the lady checking out. But like you said, nobody approached us and asked us if we needed help or, whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Just as like that, like, it's just a comment that they didn't have as much help.
Right,
So they didn't have the opportunity to greet us. I feel like they would have. I've shopped here before and they've always been really friendly.
Yeah.
But yeah, this time around they were a little lacking in the health department.
Lacking in the stuff.
As far as the selection of the series stuff, it also had a huge Wreck-It Ralph and like a Marvel section. A lot of it was just scattered, or like every like those animated or animator dolls and stuff like that. So you'd have like all of the Disney princesses. It had a lot of that feel, where this is the type of product and these are the people we sell in that product.
Right.
Versus like
some characters that we did see here that we didn't see at the others were Flip from A Bug's Life, Nana from Peter Pan.
Yeah,
I was surprised. I don't know if I've ever seen her before. And they also had Heimlich from, but I've seen him before. I don't know if I've ever seen Flip, which is weird. But
yeah, I don't think I have either. Yeah. So it was cool. And they had the little brother backpack, or not backpack, purse.
Purse with
almost got it, but
it's just a tad too small.
Yeah, I guess
I wish it had been like
children.
him, because it was like an applique looking little brother on this side, but then on the back it was just like this little pouch thing. Like it should have been black, but like shaped the same as him.
Yeah,
Maybe not
so
embroidered,
bigger.
So that was like a full purse.
Yeah, if we could have fit our phone in, we would have gotten it.
Yeah.
But at that, it would just be like a coin purse.
Right. Yeah.
It's
like
just
maybe some
impractical.
keys, but yeah, not really useful. So.
No. So overall, okay, in the mall.
Oh yeah.
Again, the parking is similar to just like the first one, so
Yeah.
it's crowded. The mall itself wasn't as crowded as the perimeter mall.
No.
The second one we
right,
went to,
yeah.
so it was more pleasant to walk through.
Yeah.
I always say it always feels more vertical. It's very white inside, like it's bright and open feeling, because they have like what are those called? What are these, like the sunroof?
Sunroof?
Like
Yeah.
that kind of
Skylight.
Skylight. There you go. Yeah. They have got a big carousel.
Yeah. Yeah. In the food court, it's got lots of animals on it.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think also I felt more aware that this was a 2-story mall. I mean, all the malls we've been in so far were at least 2 stories, but I felt like this drew your eyes up, I guess because of the skylights, so that you knew there was more shopping upstairs, and then you felt like you had to get up there. It was pretty busy. I mean, considering how malls are dying, I mean, people are at this one.
Yeah.
Again, not as crowded. Maybe this one might be a little bit more spread out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or it's just fewer people were here.
That's true.
But still busy.
Yeah.
So we weren't like alone.
So overall score for this one?
For the store itself, I might give it a 3. I don't
That's
think
what
it
I
was
was
quite as
thinking.
good as the others.
Yeah.
Just felt like a little bit of an afterthought. Maybe they get the leftover stuff. Maybe that's why they had Nano.
Yeah.
As far as like ease to get to it, like, yeah, it'd probably be like a 4. I mean, this is kind of, it's not super far away from where we live. It's Alpharetta, right? Mm-hmm. So, if you're up north this way,
Yeah.
it's not bad.
It's worth a stop in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ironic or unfortunate. I think so far the strongest store has been the perimeter inside. That felt like the Disney experience, like the almost downtown Disney type of a feel.
Yeah.
But getting there and shopping that kind of lowers it. I would not recommend it unless you are familiar with really big cities, or you're not the one who has to finagle it.
Yeah, maybe you love crowds and malls. I mean, there are some weird people who are like, I don't care, I'll park there, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this one is better. Security guy's like, what are you guys doing in there?
It's not illegal to talk on a phone.
It's not a mask.
Anyway, yeah, exactly. So this one, while it might not have been the strongest store, it's a friendly atmosphere to go into.
Right, and I think you'd have fun in other parts of the mall. Open kind of food court. And,
Yeah, great shopping place. So, yeah. All right, on to the fourth one.
So we drove through the fog and the rain.
Through the country.
All the way up 400 until it ended.
Yeah, in Dawsonville. We are in the premium outlets. Spoilers, we already found it. I will show you. Yeah, there's an outside entrance, or whatever, so you can visible.
Because these are like outlet. It's an outlet mall,
It's an outlet mall.
It's like a...
Everything's outside and you walk through. So it's starting to drizzle a little bit, but we already know where it is, so we can just head right there. Parking is good. It's again the grid kind of parking. Not
too
scary.
busy.
Yeah, not too busy. So yeah, looks good. Right now the only detriment is the drive, but
Yeah, it's far out there, man.
yeah, it's pretty far out there. So I am interested to see, before we go in, because this is an outlet store, do they have different products than the mall stores?
More maybe.
So that's what we're going to keep an eye on and report back.
Yep.
Yay! So that was was the outlet mall in Dawsonville. Dawsonville.
I think it's just Dawson.
The only outlet mall of Disney in Georgia.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was also cool.
Yeah.
So the size of it, slightly smaller than the others, right?
Oh,
it was kind of narrow.
bigger.
You did? Okay,
Yeah.
it felt narrow, but it was longer. You're right. It was shaped
Yeah, it
differently.
opened up, because you come in, and then from your side goes this way,
Yeah,
and this went out just a little bit.
that's true.
And
Almost
the
like a
front had
T-shape.
big windows.
Yeah.
And it obviously faces the outside because it's that level.
Yeah. Parts of it felt much more like store, where it was like the selection you would think, like if Walmart or something, Target were selling Disney toys, it kind of felt like that. Where, but at the same time, it did have a few items that none of the other stores so far have had. And I will mention, they had a lot of adult-sized shirts.
Yes.
Much more than any of the others.
Sale rack
You
even
know.
had like adult sizes.
Yeah, and those are not just like, oh, Disney, but it was like the characters, we were looking at like Cinderella was like always so late, or if the shoe fits, that kind of thing. Yeah. So that was really cool. There was no like interior castle.
Right. No interior or exterior decorations at all.
Yeah, no.
Except what you pointed out, the lights up in the store had like, was it movie film looking?
Yeah, it looked like movie film, like almost like lantern lights, though large, but so like had Pocahontas on there, the Toy Story people, so that was pretty cool. It had a TV that showed commercials and some music videos, sort of things, but that was behind the cashiers, so you were not invited to sit there and watch it. But I did appreciate that the sound that you could hear, if you were like, "What is that?" You could look and see what that was.
Right.
Versus
exactly.
the first store, where if you didn't know what it was from, because they played one of those, like, it wasn't Tsum Tsum, but it was like the emoji Incredibles.
Oh, that's
It was a very long segment. It was kind of annoying to hear but it's not their fault. But yeah, so thank goodness, because it was only music. There was no speaking. So, so it felt less like Disney, but it was more
like outlet store.
Yeah, it felt like an outlet store. But if you are a fan, I would recommend, because they had some things where you could get. They also had like the mini gardening stuff and the cooking. So it had more of those type of like gift ideas.
Like the Spider-Verse toys and like Gwenpool. I don't know why she was.
That was weird.
Anyway, but
because why would it be Deadpool?
But like you said, it was in sections. So if you're looking for Star Wars, here's the Star Wars section. Here's the Into the Spider-Verse section.
Also had, which you saw. Do you remember?
No.
Muppets.
Oh yeah.
So they had like, it was just like one plush of each. So it had Kermit, Fozzie, and Animal. Like no, and then underneath it had this weird play set. I didn't really look at it because it was kind of crowded where it was. But yeah, that was it. That was all the Muppets selection that I could see. But it was weird that they had a little tiny corner of Muppets.
That's
so yeah,
I was wondering if this would have, like we were talking before we went in, would it have different things because it is the outlet store? So maybe they get the discontinued items or the items that are gone out of season. Didn't see anything super like that, but I wonder if some of the shirts were like that because they had a lot more shirts on sale, $12 shirt kind of thing, the 50% off rack, that kind of stuff. So some of it was discounted, but I was pleasantly also surprised that it does have the new merchandise too, like the squishy snuggle pet things.
Yeah, it did. I felt like it had maybe some stuff that wasn't on trend, like because it did have some toys and stuff, or some play sets that like little, like the mini figurines of some characters or series that are a little bit older. Can't remember the one I saw, but or like had like Winnie the Pooh, that kind of thing. But yeah, no, it wasn't anything. Nothing stood out to be like, oh well, this is like 4 years old. It doesn't say 2012 or exactly. It wasn't anything like that. It had a lot of relevant stuff.
Yeah, it had some of the Christmas stuff.
Okay, so cast members, you had a story.
We only briefly approached some. She liked my shirt, so of course she yelled "Stitch" at me, and I'm like, okay. I never know what to do when people do that. Like, at first I'm like, where? What? You know, but I heard them talking. They were trying to find a price for something. Anyway, that was not talking to me. But so the cast members went to another one and said, we're going to step behind stage or backstage for a moment. Please watch it, whatever. So I thought it was cute that they kept that lingo. You know, they didn't say, we're going to the back room for storage or whatever. They said, we're going to the off stage.
Yes. Yeah, and that's actually a really good point. I really love that because that is something kind of like how Chick-fil-A always says my pleasure or whatever. So it's nice that even though the perimeter, like they had their work against them or whatever, because it doesn't feel like the traditional Disney store in my opinion, but they even at that point they still made it, you know.
I don't remember that there were any like customers standing right next to them, but so it must just be in their training and their lingo to just call it that, you know.
Yeah, so that's cool. Their manager should be very proud. I would say that the one that noticed your shirt or whatever, she seemed a little bit more casual, like laid back, friendly. It was not like, you know, I felt comfortable if I had a question to ask her, but usually the people are a little bit more peppy and like, hey, how you doing? You like Disney?
Right, yeah.
She was more like, hey, like your shirt, you know, that kind of.
And then she yawned and she's like, oh, sorry, it must be the weather because it's all gloomy, you know?
Yes. So again, very friendly but different feeling.
She had a little Groot sitting on her shoulder.
Aw, I didn't notice that.
But yeah, you're right. More casual, not customer service person, but you know, like, hey, welcome.
Or like your friend, exactly. Which fits because it's a very much more casual. The preliminary outlets or whatever, premium outlets. If you've ever been to an outlet mall, all of the shops are outside and you walk on the outside. So there is a crowd. Sometimes they don't want to share space, but it's also raining. So everyone wants to stay underneath the thing. But it's much more casual and more calm feel. So that kind of, I feel that vibe kind of bled into their store. Yeah. I had a lot of fun here just walking up and down. We found it immediately, but then.
It's right visible from the road.
Yeah.
Which is good because outlet malls, they've got the strips down the side. So.
Yeah, so it was good. This was the easiest one to find by a long shot.
Parking was fine. We're like four car spaces in from the mall, you know.
So we went to see the restroom because we just kind of add that. Yeah, we were like, might as well add it in. It was really funny. We actually walked past it because we saw Pumbaa ride for kids. Picture. I mean, he's so cute. Yeah, it's like, you know, it's cool. It got you, if you came from the other way, you'd get excited and be like, hey, Disney. I don't know that there was much Lion King. There was just a Nala plush. But anyway.
They had that cup.
If you see Pumbaa. Well, that's true, yeah. But bathrooms are outlet mall quality bathrooms. There's not a good
like at least
custodian.
3 of them were not working to flush. Yeah,
so it was, you know, it was kind of like that weird stale humid feel in there, you know. So it's not a pleasure to use their restrooms, but I don't think it ever is, you know. So other than that, the stores seem clean. One or two were closed, but with the, you know, outlets or whatever, that's a little less to say about them. It's more the specific store didn't want to be here anymore.
Right. Yeah, most outlet stores are closing down now, so it's kind of like a dying 80s,
but
90s
this one seems
thing,
to be thriving so far.
Yeah, they've got some like real like Pandora and Brooks Brothers. Yeah, the other ones that are around here. Wasn't there like a Nike store?
Yeah.
So it had, you know, like real stores, not just, there was an As Seen on TV store. Yeah. Which is in some of the lower end malls, but. That's okay. It
was a fun experience.
Yeah, I would come back to this one if it was like we really want to get like gifts for somebody.
Yeah.
I'm thinking for next year, we have to bring like a white elephant gift for work. I think I'll just come here and get something, you know, like Mickey Mouse sunglasses or something like that.
Yeah. This one had more of that feel of like the souvenir type of feeling.
Right.
But yeah, so every day, hey, I feel like going to a Disney store, no, mostly because of the distance.
Yeah, it's pretty far.
But I would come back to this one before I would go to the
that one mall. As far as getting to.
Yeah, even though that was one of the strongest stores we've been to, just the mere location and the experience of finding the store. Yeah.
Maybe if somebody else drove and then parked me right in front of the door that I needed to go into.
Hold hands, go in. All right.
I would like to come back to the outlets. Just to walk around here one day.
Just have a day trip. Yeah, I think like that. Don't get your expectations. If you drive here specifically for this one Disney store, you might find yourself disappointed. But if you make a day of it of, hey, let's just go experience an outlet mall, you'll have a lot of fun. Yeah. Just hold your peace.
Yeah. Or don't go to the one at this end of the mall. Maybe there's another
Try
one
the other
somewhere
side,
else.
yeah. All right, one more
last
time.
one.
Okay, this is going to be super fast. We're at the fifth one. It is Mall of Georgia. It is 5:38, and they close at 6 because it is New Year's Eve. So we already took off our hats, our little head things, so we are going to run right in, and then we'll be back to let you know about the parking and everything. Okay, bye. Best entrance. This isn't great lighting, but the sun's going down, as you can see, because I recorded a second of it. So, Mall of Georgia.
Mall of Georgia.
First of all, what time is it?
I think it's almost 6. 6:05.
6:05. We got out. Well, of course, we had to use the restroom too, so. That's because we're driving home. So, all right. So first, parking. It's a mall. It's a slightly larger mall than like the first one. It's not as cramped as the perimeter, but it does have valet parking. So yeah, so you do have to kind of be careful about where you parked. But the Disney store is between, well, they said it was between Justice and Gap. Not exactly accurate anymore. Stores moved around. But it is near JCPenney. So if you enter through, it's pretty easy to get to.
Yeah, go into JCPenney and go straight across. And then down. Because we somehow parked up here.
So of course this is a different time of day because we started our journey at 11 a.m.
Yeah, we left the house at 11.
And it's now 6.
We're not even home yet.
Yeah. So it's been a time.
Full day. It'll be 8 hours once we get home.
Yeah, it's because they're all so spread out, which will have probably
and there's traffic. Which actually wasn't too bad considering. Yeah. But it's but it is what it is.
So, all right, so going into the store, so it was easy. The size, pretty much, they're all the same size, standard. It seems. This one also, just like the perimeter, had the really cool floor where it had the path of the midnight blue with the sparkles, and it was like tan wood everywhere else. So it's really cool, and it was also dark on the ceiling as well. Outside,
it had a big red glowing sign that said Disney. So it wasn't Mickey's face, and it wasn't like just to the ears, but a big, kind of like that JCPenney sign said Disney. Yeah. So it was easy to spot.
Yeah, it was easier to spot. It wasn't exactly like the big M or anything like that, or the big ears, sorry. Right. The one it's no longer there anymore. It was Discover Mills Mall, and then it turned to Sugarloaf Mills Mall. They had a giant D, I'm pretty sure it was.
I feel like, it was really decorative out there.
But I guess they couldn't keep up with it. I don't know. But anyway, so yes, you walk in. It had a lot more children-sized clothing and stuff like that. I think this one was probably for a child the best experience, I would think. Yeah. Because it did have the experience, it had that feel, but then it had a lot of the different toys and everything.
And the setups were like in the middle, like piled toys. Like there was I don't remember seeing them at the others. It might have been there, but like the Toy Story toys and like actual box, like Buzz Lightyear type thing, but it had a nice display of that, making it look like a toy store for kids.
Yeah, so it definitely had much more. So if you were going with a family, they didn't have a castle, but it did have this weird, maybe it was like from Frozen, like decorative arching thing. So it looked cool in there, but it wasn't like a castle.
Okay, I don't remember. I just remember that it smelled like a Disney ride because it had that like, the smell of like the water on the water rides. Like, like vaguely, it's not musty, but whatever that smell is.
It was an interesting. I think that is the only store of the Disneys that we noticed a smell in.
Yeah,
which it was a decent smell. Again, it added with the experience. You felt like you were not just in a store.
There were some smells we walked through, one or the other, but it wasn't the store.
No.
The patrons.
Yeah. The TV area, I think, was the best in this one. It was the most welcome. It had a little kids table with chairs, and it had like this large, like it looked like an iPad almost, for like an iTunes, so you can select if you wanted to hear a song. Otherwise, it did just play either. I think it only played music. It might have played commercials too. I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, I didn't hear the Marvel one this time.
But... Yeah, no. I was mostly playing Tangled stuff, so I wasn't complaining. But it did have more of like pillars around it, so it definitely was a focal point of the store, which is cool. I think. I mean, I would imagine that it would be fun to. I liked hearing the songs and stuff because then you do want to get pulled in. You either as an adult, you think of memories as a child, or memories as an adult, because hey, you can still like Disney. So I think it did actually have some adult t-shirts.
Yeah.
That again, they had really fun. So kind of like with the outlet mall.
Yes.
So all right, so let's see, make sure we got all of the things. So size, relatively the same, that weird, rectangle.
Layout was, easy to maneuver. It didn't get stuck behind anybody or feel crowded.
Parking.
That's fine. It's a mall.
Yeah.
I parked right in front of JCPenney. Got lucky. Got the third spot.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really lucky. Especially because we had to run in.
I guess you could park down somehow. And then you wouldn't have to walk. Yeah, because we had to go downstairs or down the escalator.
Yeah, it is downstairs, and where we parked is upstairs.
Yeah, oops.
So ease of finding from the outside, 0.
Yeah.
There's no indication from the outside. Ease of finding it, the directory was very helpful. It told us it was on the first level. A little bit outdated information as far as what it was next to.
But the Journey store, that's where we walked up against.
Justice. There is a Journey store. So.
Journey would make much more sense, but Justice, the store,
that's true.
helped us a bit.
The selection of the series, I think it's about average as the others.
Yeah.
I don't know that there was anything there that... Actually, I guess there were 1 or 2 things.
I saw Wally this time. There was this little stuffed Wally.
Yeah, and Evie.
Then Eve, yeah.
Or Eve. He says Evie. Sorry. So yeah, there are 1 or 2 things that I don't think we saw elsewhere. They were sold out of the squishy Stitch that you were planning on getting.
I was going to buy it finally. That's a sign.
Yeah, I guess it is, but adult-friendly accessories. This one I felt really it was geared more towards children, which I mean it kind of should be. But there were a few like shirts and breakable cups and mugs and stuff. Yeah, that was funny, which kind of goes into the cast members. So the moment we walked in, there was a man there, and he was very friendly. He was like, "Hey, what's up?" Or I can't
welcome or something.
Welcome. Yeah, I can't remember what he said. Just
he didn't offer help, but he didn't sound not helpful.
Yeah, exactly. If we need help, we'll come to him.
And we did get there 20 minutes before closing, so
but
he didn't want to encourage us to stay. But he didn't say, "Hey, welcome, we close soon."
He gave no indication that he wanted us to leave. And then he was actually restocking because it was in the evening, and so we were over by the glasses. We were looking at something, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so glad I didn't run into that." And then I felt it. I was like, "Oh, these are glasses," and I was like, "I'm not allowed to have glass." And he heard me, and he started laughing. So they have a good sense of humor. I didn't really. They were busy at the registers, but I didn't really get, we didn't interact with them. But again, they were very happy. That's something we didn't mention is the locations of all the registers. Not a really important thing. Sometimes they're on the side and sometimes they're in the back.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's just interesting. It's just how people are set up. So, and then the mall. So this is the Mall of Georgia. It's pretty big, I think. It's one of the biggest ones in the Atlanta area.
I think it's the biggest one in Atlanta,
yeah. So it's big. But that being said, it does feel wide, like there's enough space to walk.
It wasn't very crowded, but we did learn that it's closing right now.
Yeah.
It's people still going in, but...
Maybe
not all
because there is a movie theater.
Yeah.
So, but you shouldn't enter through JCPenney, but whatever, that's their
I just
problem.
saw there was a flood of people who were coming out while we were talking. I guess they closed.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a mall, but it's not a scary mall. The perimeter just left a bad feeling in my mouth. Comparatively, why would you go to a perimeter when you could go here? I think.
Yeah.
And
it's closer for us too.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and then also store strength wise of the feeling and the experience and the products. I think this is one of the strongest that we went to.
Yeah, it's definitely a solid 4. I don't know. I mean, 5 would have to be like kind of
Downtown
big.
Disney.
Have it, yeah. Like have everything that nice decorations, huge. And maybe there are 5-star Disney stores in other cities or other parts of the country, like the big one in New York or like you said, downtown Disney.
The New York one was really large. It was two stories. It had all the decorative stuff. Yeah. So that one was probably New York one is a 5. Unfortunately, I don't remember too much of it. it was really crowded. But I also went last year around Christmas time, so it was a horrible time to go. But yeah, so that one, the cast members were really great troopers because the line went around the entire building, or like inside indoors because it was snowing. But it almost went to like where the stairs were, so you couldn't enter in because there was a line there. But they were all so super happy and friendly still. Yeah, so it was really nice. But so I think this is also a solid 4. So I think it was a success.
It was, yeah. Didn't get any presents, but we had fun looking around. And now we know people ask us,
well, I'll probably forget, but I'll show them this video. That's why I made this. That's more for me to remember, like, which store did I want to go to?
Oh, we're in the dark.
And with that, I think it's time to go home.
Bye.